In the last step, you learned about the power of empathy to change the way you see the world and yourself. But you can't have empathy without compassion. Part of creating inner happiness is making a regular practice of feeling, showing, and acting out of compassion.
Once a great master in the 8th century said that if we have to find leather to cover the earth, so our feet will be protected from thorns, stones, and painful objects, we could never find enough leather to cover the earth. However, if we put 2 pieces of leather under our feet by making shoes, then it is the equivalent of covering all of the earth with the leather. In the same way, if we try to destroy all of the disturbed beings which attempt to harm us because of their anger, hatred, greed, and jealousy, we could never succeed. But if we find love, compassion, patience, and forgiveness, then ultimately nothing can cause suffering and disturbance. And eventually, our inner strength can transform these disturbed beings through the power of this great love.
So often we are taught that we have to choose between looking out for ourselves, looking out for number one, and being selfish, or being self-effacing and altruistic and giving, which is at our expense. And it's a false choice. What studies are teaching us is that when we act in a way that forgives someone else, when we have compassion, when we come from a place of giving and altruism, it's really the most selfish thing that we can do, because it's what frees us from our own stress, our own suffering. Now, this is a different idea than many of us are familiar with, but it's a powerful one. Study after study has shown us that people who feel lonely and isolated, not only does that affect the quality of our lives, it actually affects the quantity of our lives. It affects our survival, and to a much larger degree than most people realize. When we do something to help somebody else, when we can be more compassionate towards them, when we can have a sense of giving to them, that also frees us to see that on one level we are separate, but on another level we're part of everything that's connected. And so in the same way, these very ancient spiritual practices, research is teaching us how powerful and practical they are in our daily lives, not just to live longer, but equally important, to live better. So from that place, close your eyes for a moment and think about somebody that you're having a hard time with. Maybe they did something really bad to you. Maybe they just did something that you don't like. Maybe you're just having a hard time working with them. Maybe there's someone in your family that you're having a hard time relating to. Now, it's easy to just say, okay, I'm out of here. I don't want to deal with this. But maybe that person is your spiritual teacher in another form. In fact, maybe everyone is our spiritual teacher in another form. And if somebody is really annoying us, maybe it's because they're resonating with that part of our own body and our own mind and our own hearts that we haven't yet really dealt with, that we've kept in the shadow. There's an old saying that when you point your finger at someone, there's 3 fingers pointing back at you. And so when I find that someone's really annoying me, there's a good chance that it's because it's resonating with part of myself that I don't like very much and that I haven't really dealt with. So, for the moment, sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes, and take a couple of slow, deep breaths just to center yourself. Now, bring to your awareness an image of someone that you're not comfortable with. Maybe they did something to you that you didn't like. Maybe they didn't do something to you that you wanted. For whatever reason, allow yourself to see that person in your mind's eye as clearly as you can. And if possible, bring as many of your senses into this as well. That you can hear the sound of their voice. You can imagine what they smell like, what they feel like, what their presence is like when they're with you. And pay attention to how you feel now that you're bringing them into your space. Even though it's only an image, your body reacts to images in your mind as though it was really there. Your mind doesn't know the difference, even though part of you, of course, does. On a visceral gut level, your body will react as though that person was really there with you. And in some ways, they really are. Now notice how you're feeling. Notice your breathing. Are you breathing now a little faster? A little more shallow? Are your muscles a little more tense? That's useful information. Now, when you think about it, ironically, we often empower the person that we're the most uncomfortable with to make ourselves feel really the most uncomfortable. A few moments ago, when you were just sitting quietly, before we started this image, you were feeling pretty good. Now maybe you're not. The only thing that's changed is what's going on in your own mind. So, if we can change it in a way that creates stress for ourselves, we can also create it in a way that allows us to get back to a place of health and joy and peace and healing. It's us. So, now that you're with that person that you're angry with in your own mind now, let's reframe that in a different way, because you have the capacity to do that. Now, see that person in a more compassionate way. Maybe they should know better, but maybe they forgot what they already know, or maybe they never learned it. And to the extent that you can replace the feelings of anger with love, and the feelings of holding on to the sense of righteous injustice with forgiveness, then it doesn't condone what they've done, but it frees you from the negative effects of that. So keeping your eyes closed, see if you can find a way to see that person in a more compassionate light, in that light of love and forgiveness and understanding. It doesn't excuse what they did, it doesn't condone what they've done, but it frees you from the effects of that. Now, I want you to try something even more difficult, but even more powerful. Imagine something that you've done in your own life that you have a hard time forgiving, that you don't like about yourself, and we all have things like that. Go back to the point in your life when you actually were in that place and you didn't do what you thought you should have done, or you did something that was hurtful to you or to the people around you, or both. Pay attention to how that memory, that image, is affecting you right here and now. It may have happened years ago, but it's right here and now that it's affecting you in a negative way. Again, pay attention to your breathing. Pay attention to your muscles, if they're tense or not. Pay attention to your sense of your mood and how you're feeling. You're feeling sad or depressed or lonely. Those are important clues because, again, awareness is always the first step in healing. Once we become aware of what we're feeling and how it's affecting us, we can change it, transform that. So in that spirit, allow yourself to reprocess that image of yourself, to recontextualize it, to reframe it. Try to take a more compassionate view towards yourself. Try to say, yeah, Maybe I should have known better, but I learned something from that process. I don't have to carry that around with me anymore. I can let it go. So take a moment, in whatever way you can reframe that, allow yourself to feel as much love as you can for yourself in this moment, right here, right now. Allow that love to fill every cell in your body, every cell in your heart, every cell in your mind. The darkness and the light can't be there at the same time. When you shine that light of compassion and love in your own heart, in the darkest, deepest recesses that you may have even shut down even from yourself and your own awareness, the darkness is no longer there. Just feel that sense of love and compassion for yourself that you want to feel from other people. Right here at this moment, to experience true and complete joy in ways that maybe we never even dreamed were possible, but are. Take a moment and imagine that that's happening now in your own body, in your own heart.